Hey, welcome back to the What If interviews slash. They're now going to be just content creator interviews going forward into 2025 because don't really want to limit myself to just What If content creators, as there's some coming, some going. It's just all over the place and it's hard to get to know people. And I also got to get to know a lot of people the past couple of years, so expect changes for that. But regardless, welcome back to the What If Universe, your home for What If scenario podcasts, breakdowns, and soon to come, more content creator interviews for us here. No, it's been a while, but today we have a second guest return as we have Saiyan Motion. Saiyan Motion's known for doing many different Dragon Ball content along with some What If content, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey guys, I'm Saiyan Motion. I do mainly What Ifs, and recently I've started doing other stuff, and I guess that's a lot of what we're here to talk about today. What if creators doing different things and how the scene is progressing. So I'm excited to be here for a second time, and let's see how this conversation goes.
And I will say, it's still playing to this day. If you type in What If Universe, you still just get a bunch of space stuff. And my channel doesn't pop up still. Sometimes stuff doesn't change. To be honest.
That's actually really funny.
Like, I have to filter channel to find it. And now there's tons of other people that are just in channel.
Yeah, I think it's more likely if you Google What If Universe, after a bit, you'll probably just get What If videos they might be Dragon Ball, but they're not going to be the channel. I guess it's what you get for picking a general name, right? Because the What If channel is the biggest What If channel, and they do Earth and Universe What Ifs.
Straight up this year, I might consider just changing the name of the channel, because there's right now, looking at what I got, there's a bunch of AI logos, a bunch of art junk, which some look decent. Not gonna lie, but at the same time, it's if I'm just buried underneath other channels and name the same thing, right?
What do you think if you do try to change it? What's your idea?
I think it'd probably center more around the creator space, because I feel that's what this channel is slowly more evolved into. I still like talking about what is, but not to the same grand scale that I used to do. Is the best way to put it.
I mean, just how much can you talk about what ifs over 5-6 years? Eventually, it's gonna run dry, I guess.
I feel with the new angle that I'm going, though, I have different guests that are from different spaces that talk about different shows. So I think that's gonna be something interesting this year. The first one that went up was one about JoJo, and we talked about different what scenarios related to that, and got other people doing similar concepts. So we'll just see how it goes. To be honest, I think it'll be.
Yeah, I've never thought about diversifying into other animes, just because the time that it would take to watch them to get an understanding of the way I have for Dragon Ball, because I've been watching Dragon Ball since I was 7, and maybe even before that a little bit, honestly. And I used to, everybody, have the TV, and it would just run Dragon Ball Z. I didn't even know Dragon Ball was a thing. And then eventually during COVID, when I was thinking about making a YouTube channel, that was when it was super basic. It was just Masako was the biggest at the time, and then Smuckstick, Salad Sand, and Cartoon, they were small channels at the time. They were 100K below, I think, and that's when I was watching them. And I was you know what? I'm sitting in quarantine in my house. I might as well do something with my life. I was 12 years old at the time, and I just started making What If videos. And now all those videos are unlisted. They're so bad, I can't even listen to them. It's my 12-year-old voice, and using screen capture to record Google Slides. It was that bad. I'm really happy to see how we've all evolved.
I remember back in the day when Tommy Ennett's Twitch channel, I think, was taken down because he was underage when he made it, which is really funny.
Yeah, dude, I have to lie about my age all the time. I remember when I got my first collab. Now, me and Nitro, we're good friends. Not IRL, but we talk occasionally. I haven't talked to him in a long time. I think he went inactive or something. But when I was reaching out to people to get a collab, I told everyone it mattered that I was 13 years old at the time and I was 12. I was yeah, maybe one extra year would let people do something. And he was huge for me at the time, because he introduced me to the DeviantArt, because the dude on DeviantArt that has all the renders and stuff, that's how I figured that out, which was just game changing.
Yeah, I understand that. I will say this is personal advice to anyone listening. If you do a channel and you're underneath age for terms of service, you have a high risk of being taken out more often.
I mean, getting taken out, right, of course.
I'm just saying, you have odds to be sniped, and I'm not gonna say I didn't warn you, so I'll say.
Right. Fair. Getting taken out though, like I think you get less from age restrictions and stuff, and more from Toei themselves. Like I've been extremely fortunate to never have gotten struck down by like hopefully I'm not jinxing it right now, but I haven't gotten struck down by Toei like a lot of other channels did, and it stunted their growth like crazy. Like Damon, he's one of the most talented What If creators, but he got completely screwed by Toei that one when that whole thing happened. And I mean, I'm glad to see he's been making content since, and he's been on the comeback, and I still like his videos. I think he does a great job, but he definitely got screwed. And a lot of things, like I told a lot of other creators that I was coming up with at the time, like when shorts started blowing up, I was like, hey guys, we should do shorts, or you guys should like focus on making shorts. I don't think anybody got into it like I did, because I actually started making like weekly shorts, and now my schedule is more like I try to do 1 to 2 full-length videos in a month. At January, I haven't uploaded because I was on vacation, and all of December, like the first half of December, I was working super hard to schedule videos. I made like 18 shorts to schedule through the month of December and January, and then on top of that, I made 2 full-length videos for December and December, so I couldn't really do any more than that. So January, I'm just gonna let it sit, and I think in Feb, I might come back with like 3 full-length videos. But shorts themselves, like when they were blowing up, we had of course Karthu was like, he started it, and then like a bunch of other creators like Justin's Den and Jalen, the 2 of them, they came up basically doing shorts. Jalen, like he had a whole channel dedicated to shorts, and I think he's trying to do full-length videos too. He's hopefully finding some success, but with me, I gained like 30,000 subscribers from shorts in like one year, and that was like my biggest year. And now unfortunately, when my full-length videos were doing like really well, I ended up taking a vacation, and then when I got back, I got so lazy that I didn't get back into the flow, and I kind of stunted my channel growth like completely. Like where I was getting like 200, 300, 400,000 views on a video on a full story, that dropped to like 50,000, and now I'm averaging like, I'll have the occasional video hit like 100,000, but on average I'm getting like 15,000 on just a regular video. But occasionally I'll have like a video that does like 100,000. I'll have one that does like 50, like, but shorts, they're such an anomaly. It's so weird the way, like I had shorts that were hitting 1 million views, and now they're getting like 15, 20,000. It's so weird. I don't understand shorts.
So as someone who makes shorts and long form content, do you think, like with TikTok's like recent ban, it's obvious it's happening, to be honest, like Supreme Court
it's so crazy.
9-0, like crazy stuff. Do you think if for all those people who make that type of content, should they start like a YouTube channel?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they should hop on Instagram, they should hop on YouTube Shorts. Even though YouTube Shorts are definitely less developed, like I think I'm about to rank it in terms of like social media platforms. TikTok and Instagram are like neck and neck. I think TikTok obviously takes the lead a little bit, and then it was Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat. Snapchat Reels just suck. Like they're just really bad. They're like way behind. But YouTube, I think they need to do more work for their shorts. But I think absolutely, if you were on TikTok, you should absolutely get on YouTube Shorts and get on the other platforms too. That's definitely the move. Also, speaking of the TikTok ban, I think it's so crazy. Like I don't understand why. I just think it's dumb. I think it's so stupid. But that's another subject.
Yeah, I know. I will say that I actually talked with one of my like state representatives, like, are we gonna compensate people basically losing their jobs over this? And they haven't gotten back to me. It's like, this is like something that really is kind of upsetting me, because there's a lot of people who like made livelihoods out of this, and if you don't compensate people for losing their job, it's like this.
Yeah, they're not getting compensated. I don't think our government's that generous. I'll say that much.
Like, here's the thing though, if they're getting rid of the platform where people are making money in some context, I think they should at some extent.
I mean, honestly, but compensating people that make TikToks is like nearly impossible to. Like the amount of money people make on TikTok, obviously it's not as much as like you would make doing
here's
YouTube,
the thing,
but
you wouldn't have to compensate everything. You could just give like a flat rate, and it's like for a year. It gives them enough time to try readjust, like join YouTube, do something else with their lives, or go back to what they're doing. That's how I view it. It's like,
no,
I mean, best ways.
A little darker, but like I saw recently that the government's giving like $700 flat checks, but it's only a one-time for the people that were in the LA fires. So if they're only giving if they're only giving a $700 flat at a one time to people that lost their houses. I don't see in any world where they give a flat rate for a year. Like maybe they'll do a one-time thing. Maybe they'll give them like $500, but there's no way they do anything like that. I just personally don't see it.
Yeah, I can get that, but I will say
Yeah.
since you have been making content longer, I think it's been like 2 years since we did the interview, maybe 3 at this point. I think.
Yeah, it's about to be 3, I think. 2.5, I'd say.
I did want to ask from your personal experience more recently, how would you describe like mentoring like other people since you've reached this stage?
Okay, so I think last year I was getting a lot more messages. I mean, at the time I had a Discord server. I deleted it because I was just like, honestly, it was super inactive. That was one thing. And 2, like I just didn't see the point. Like I'm not on Discord like that. On Discord, like I'm in a few servers where like one is like there's a server that we like Lytro server where they pass out renders. I'm in that one to get updates on renders. I'm in a custom render server where people like request edits, and I'm in a Wexer's Dragon Ball Scan server for like scans and stuff like that. And that's all I'm in Discord for, other than like playing games with my friends. And I just didn't see a point in having a Discord. First of all, that was super inactive, and second, just in general. So I deleted that, and since then I haven't gotten as many messages. But people used to message me all the time like, hey, will you critique this video? Hey, I'm starting out. How do you think this is? People will still do that in like YouTube comments. I don't respond to them as much anymore. But back then when people used to hit me up on Discord, they'd send me their video. And I would like actually watch the video and leave them like a video essay on things they could improve on. Because, I mean, it's just, I think mentorship is really useful. But like not in terms of like, hey, guide me like in every step of the way. I just think like if you ask me for critiques on a video, I'll tell you what you can improve on. I'm not gonna sit with you and like show you how to improve everything, but I'll tell you what you need to improve on, and you have to put in the work to do the rest. And if you're committed, you will.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think something else that was crazy that came up in Dragon Ball Space is that Sean Schemmel accused Gamer Goku, who's an actual voice actor, being an AI, and I thought that was absurd.
I saw that.
Do that.
I think Sean is a little. I've seen before. He might be a little sensitive about the Goku voice, but I can't blame him too much about that. Just because like he low-key might have actually thought it was an AI voice. But then when I saw that he actually messaged the creator about it, I was like, at that point, like if you know who's doing it, like you might as well watch like a video of theirs to see that it's not actually AI, that like they're making actual content. And I'm pretty sure that video of his like covering the controversy blew up too. Like it got like 500,000 views in a day.
I think what surprised me, like even if I was like Sean Schemmel, I went to that channel. The first channel trailer is basically the person saying they're Goku and then immediately switching to their regular voice, saying that they're a voice actor. Like,
right?
I don't know how Sean could have missed that if he did like bare minimum research.
And dude, his video, Gamer Goku's video right now, it's been 4 days. It has 1 million views. Like people, I guess people care that much, but that's kind of cool.
It should, because if the voice actor accuses another voice actor of being AI, that's just evil in my opinion. Like I do like that Sean did take down stuff, and also the current voice actor Frieza did the same thing. But I do think that they should release something so that way like he doesn't get attacked any further, to be honest, because I'm sure some people might still believe he's an AI and they're just pretending.
Honestly, from what I saw, that people even in the post that Sean made, they were all critiquing him, saying that if you knew who he was, you wouldn't say that. Like way more people came in defense of him before he even knew what was going on. Apparently this is like really old and he just saw it, the creator, and his fans were defending him. Like more people were defending him than against him at all. And I think the fans themselves kind of like cleared up the situation, but I do agree. I don't think he's done that much harm, but I do think he should make a post or like apologizing or something, or even reach out in DMs. Like he doesn't even need to make it public.
Yeah, even if he does that, it should be fine. That's good enough for me.
Yep.
But to be fair, he might have, and we just don't know for a reason. So
Yep. Fair.
just how stuff goes, to be honest. I did want to ask another thing from what it was like from being a fan of What Ifs to like starting to make them yourself.
I kind of touched on it a little bit, but dude, at first it was like, oh my god, it was a real struggle. I had no clue what I was doing, and just like watching the What Ifs, I was like, even though they've really sucked at the time, like everybody's What If sucked at the time. Like nobody was at the level of editing they are today. Nobody was doing, good editing. No one had commissioned thumbnails. I thought I had a lot of fun at first, and I would like to say I might have had like a better work ethic when I was 12 and 13 making videos than like now even. Like now I'm way more relaxed on it, but when I was 12, 13, dude, I thought consistency meant you upload every day. So I was trying to do my hardest to upload one video a day, and I got to 100 videos before like 100 videos. It's 100 videos it took me to get 100 subscribers, and then it just kind of took from there that I was like, you know what, you don't need to do this many videos. Focus more on quality, and over time the quality over quantity like completely consumed me, I would say, and I've gone way more that way. But I do think that even Salad these days, he's still posting like consistently. He's making like a video every 3 days, every 2 days even. He's got other types of content now that he's posting with that, and he has a second channel, but his videos are obviously, I think he's way more towards quantity than quality. Not to say his videos are bad, but they're definitely far less edited than I would say my videos or even Smugstick. I think Salad makes he focuses way more on just like basic render transitions and stuff. But his videos are great still. And I think even he took notice of the commission thumbnails. So when he does like full story videos, he'll have a commission thumbnails and they'll do great. I'm still like really liking to see his journey. And Smugstick, especially these days, dude, he's been getting way like he's diversified his content a lot more, and now he's like blowing up.
Oh yeah, it's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind
I
of
will say things have definitely changed as far as that goes. Like we have a lot of people who started doing stuff in one space, and they either slowed down or done more like one shots or like one big type of video. It feels like at least that's the direction we're going to. But we'll talk about that a bit later, to be honest. But I did want to ask, do you recommend other people to find a mentor before making content, or should they just try to see how they do by themselves first, do you think?
I definitely don't think you should try to find one before you start, because then that point, like Mr. Beast always, I'm a Mr. Beast obsessor in terms of like, that dude's a genius in making content. So I've seen like all his podcasts. I try to take notes, and mental notes specifically. Like I watch all his podcasts, I've listened to all his advice. And one of the big things was, if you're starting out, your first 10 videos, your first 100 videos, very good chance they're not going to get any views. But if you keep thinking, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and never actually hit the upload video button, never actually try to record your videos, never put the work in from the start, you're never going to get anywhere in the first place. So I think you start creating content, you try to learn, especially because like if you just reach out to someone, you have zero videos, you have no experience, and you're like, mentor me. Like that's never gonna happen. You gotta already be a little bit on the map, or you gotta be trying. Like someone has to see that you've made the effort, and then I think it's fine to like seek help, get mentored in terms of like asking for advice from other creators, steering clear of mistakes that they might have made. I think that's always helpful. I think they should definitely do that.
Yeah, I think having a baseline's useful, is that way you know where you actually improve, because otherwise you see improve in everything if you don't have anything like going.
No, absolutely.
Are there any like people in the community that you're inspired from, like, or being inspired from today? Because you talked about like previous people. That is true.
I think a lot of people inspired me. I mean, at first, obviously the big four, right? Because they were the only ones. Masako was massive at the time compared to even the three of them. And I was like, at the time when I started making videos, I'm pretty sure Salad had like 10K subs. Like it was something like that. But right now, I'm taking a lot of influence in terms of shorts, Karthu, and Smugstick in terms of like diversifying his content. I'm thinking, obviously, I'm trying to do similar stuff like that because I don't want to stay stuck on what ifs forever. And what ifs, obviously, like they're saturated a lot, and there's not much more you can do. Like honestly, like a lot of fans of the what if suggestions that they leave, unfortunately, they're terrible. Like a lot of times they're so bad. You gotta think of them yourself, and you gotta make sure that they can reach an audience. Because obviously, at the end of the day, even though you're making videos, like your ultimate goal as a YouTuber is to get views. And if you're making a what if video that a fan suggested that's super niched, and you get like 2,000 views on it, the hours you spent making that video, especially for me, because I spent like a lot of hours editing, and I think it would be a mistake. So you always got to try to get views. So you got to do that in whatever way. Diversifying content, making general what ifs, things that people want to see. There's a few new creators that I'm actually taking a look at. Like recently, I've been getting recommended this guy Uraza, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm really liking this guy's style. I think he's making good videos. Yeah.
You should send that channel some point. I'll check it out whenever I get a chance.
Gotcha.
As far as I did want to ask, how much like effort do you put into like research as far as like Dragon Ball lore for like making a what if scenario these days?
It absolutely depends on the video itself. Like for a what if video, most of the time, like I just open a Google Doc, and if after the intro, it just flows, dude. Because I've made so many videos and I've been watching Dragon Ball since I was like 7. I've read so much about it. I've read the manga. I just start like writing. And after that, like if there's something I don't know, like if there's something I'm thinking of, like did this happen this way in the series, then I'll open the manga, or I'll like check out an anime episode to see exactly what I was thinking about, and I'll fix it accordingly. But if it's a video that's like, for example, a recent video I did, which was like one of my first like non-what if videos, not one of my first I'd say, but one of the first that's like actually doing pretty well, because I did do a video a little bit ago talking about, it was more of a joke video, which I actually tend to see do better. It was about how strong Mr. Popo was, and that video did really well. It has like 400,000 views or something like that, which was surprising for me, as an outlier for sure. But and other than that, like the non-what if videos I tried to do didn't do so well. But this one is performing like evenly with the what ifs that I've been posting recently, and it was about characters that vanished in Dragon Ball. And obviously I had to research for that video, because each character that I made like a community post, like I was like, hey guys, what are some characters that you think disappeared? And some people said like Android 16, and I was like, dude, Android 16's dead, like, And then obviously from the community post, I narrowed down to the people that I thought were actually had like interesting characters that were worth talking about. And then I added some of my own that I was like, okay, these guys are definitely worth talking about. And then of course I had to go through the manga, through the anime. I even watched others like some YouTubers did cover like specific characters. There'd be like short videos on it, on like what actually happened to this character. And watching all that, doing all that research, then I would go back to my doc. I would take notes like, this is what happened to this character. I'd talk about the character for a little bit, and then I'd use that information that I've gathered to explain what basically happened to them. So that was probably one of my more research heavy videos.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You're trying to ask a question that you have to look more in depth with, like, that makes more sense. You have to put more effort towards something like that. Because there's a lot of characters, like in Dragon Ball, if you start including like filler and such, to be honest.
I was like, some people were like, you forgot to mention like Colonel Silver. And I was like, dude, Colonel Silver does not matter. Dude showed up for one scene. I was not about to include Colonel Silver, because he just gets a body that never shows up again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought he did die for some reason, because those were characters I wouldn't typically count if they're no longer around, technically.
I honestly don't remember if he got marked by the Pilaf gang, but all I can remember, Goku punched him and then he like flew away and never to be seen again. But if there might be some anime filler, at least in the manga that's what happened. But in the anime filler, there might be something where like he like dies at the hands of the Pilaf saga. Unclear, honestly. Or maybe like I like to believe if there were Red Ribbon soldiers that failed, Commander Red probably killed him, because he had Tao kill Blue, so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, realistically, that's what would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have, I guess you talked a little bit about this, but do you have like a challenge, like maintaining consistency and coherence with your videos now?
So in terms of quality, sometimes I'll get like a little lazy, but I try to keep quality as good as I possibly can, and I won't be doing more than like 8 shorts a month, which is like 2 a week. Like Wednesday, Sunday, I try to do it. Occasionally I'll like skip a day, but I try to keep it as consistent as possible, 8 shorts a month, and I try my hardest to do at least one video, like one full video, but usually I'll end up doing 2. Like if it's a video that's like 50 minutes long, 50, then I might only do like 1 video for that month, but typically I'll do like 2 videos. And right now, like I said before, like January, I'm low-key not thinking I'll do a video this month, but in exchange, like in February, I'm thinking I'll do like 3, so that's why.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I know I'm mostly just dealing with restructure stuff, so I haven't really been getting into like major video stuff yet, but I have been trying to do some stuff. Like I have like scripts going, I have like more menial stuff before I even get to like the video, like editing process is how.
Honestly, if I had to give you some advice, I think I just use like the Mr. Beast thing. Like, dude, you just gotta, like, at some point, you gotta stop contemplating, you gotta stop procrastinating, you gotta put aside all that stuff and just like create. Honestly, you just gotta sit down, open a Google Doc and write down like 10-20 ideas, pick the ones you like, and just start making a video. I think that's the best way to go about it, if I had to give you some advice.
I wouldn't say I'm like contemplating. I think it's more like I'm just trying to get some menial stuff done because everyone knows, at least most content creators know, by this point, January and February are just really bad to upload anyways. So
January is
stuff now is better, at least from my
Right.
perspective.
Well, I've seen like some content creators, not even in our scene, but like just generally people like, yeah, I'm gonna be taking a break for the rest of January. I'm like, bro, I know why you're doing it because the ad revenue in January sucks, but
Well,
it's
just
all
like
good.
what
Like,
you said earlier, it's the amount of effort you're putting into a video, and if it does even work, but getting
Right.
back these 2 months, it's not
yeah,
much helpful.
I think, yeah, most like smaller creators, they will usually not upload in January because like I've been seeing that. Like bigger creators, obviously it doesn't affect them as much. Like obviously they're gonna notice a difference, but if you have like 1 million, 2 million subscribers, like a lot of your videos are still gonna perform well, even if they don't perform. Like they're not outlier, like they're not performing 1 million, 2 million views. They'll still get a few 100,000. And yeah, in terms of consistency, like the only reason I didn't upload in January, or even I still can, honestly. I was thinking I'd upload a video on the 21st, but that video I think I'm benching till the 1st of Feb. Is because I was on vacation. Like I just got back on the 11th, so I've been a little lazy in terms of like getting back to work, and school starts next week for me too. So I was just like trying to take it a little slowly. But if I would have uploaded in January otherwise.
I think the other thing I do want to bring up is that if you are like a smaller creator, in theory, you could use these 2 months to try to be pushed out more when other people are uploading. That is one benefit you could look into. That's like if you're like starting out, that's genuinely something worthwhile.
I get that.
But for the most part, if you're more like established, I don't think it's worth the time. I think it's better to try to clean stuff up personally. That's just my perspective after doing this for as long as I have been, I feel like.
You might be onto something with that, honestly.
Well, think about this way. Like, you have time to self-reflect on, like, what videos were doing good, what stuff you want to do, like, for this year, for example. Like, when people, like, set, like, goals and stuff, like New Year's resolution stuff, with content creation, you have a lot of data that you can actually see. Because unless you're, like, writing a journal of your life or something, like, if you're that obsessive about yourself, like,
Right.
then you do have, I guess, results from previous years. But with content creation, you have more like hard like numbers you can reflect off of, and you can actually use that to benefit off of, at least when you're more established. Like, that's just how it goes. But if you're starting off, you don't really have numbers to work off with, so it makes more sense to just start making content in all honesty, because you need the numbers to improve at that point.
I agree.
How much time goes into scripting, like producing like a single what if scenario now for with your
Just scripting or just generally?
Let's just say like start to finish. Like you come up with the idea, you script
Okay.
it, then you make a video.
So
that sounds easy.
these days, idea generation has been low-key kind of hard for me because I'm at that point where like, dude, what ifs are so done. Like most of the big ones have been done, and I've been like, if you do a niche what if, there's a very slim chance that it does well, but occasionally it will. Like recently, I just had this random idea, and I honestly kind of regret the way there was a gamble in November. I did this video. It was called it was a meme video. I saw this video, what if Goku was super extra prepared? It was like a 10-second clip, and it had like 3 million views. And I was like, what if Goku was super extra prepared? So I wrote down that video, I made the video, and at that point I hadn't uploaded in like a month. So I was like, I really need to get this video out, and I don't want to delay it. And I had a sponsorship that was waiting, and I also had this other person recommend this video to me. They were like, maybe you should do something like this. And it was finishing, I ended up doing this video as well. It was finishing every what if scenario in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And at the time, Sparking Zero was like doing really hot. So I thought, you know what? I'll put the sponsor on that video. And that gamble didn't really work out because the Goku was super extra prepared video, that video ended up getting like 100,000 plus views. And the other one that was like 3 times as long, and I put way more effort into, didn't do as hot. Even though like other creators that did similar videos, it got a lot more views, and I don't know why that is, but I guess it's the luck of the draw this time. But back to the question, I would spend probably idea generation. It takes me some time now, like an hour or two, to decide like if I want to do this video. But eventually, once like what I'll usually do is I'll write down like a bunch of ideas and pick the best one that I think will do the best. And then scripting. It could take anywhere from like, dude, if I'm like really in the flow and I like know exactly what I want for the video, it could take me 3-4 hours. But it could take also, if it's a really long video, like a full length, they're all usually full length, by the way. But what I mean is like if it's a short full length versus one that like starts at the beginning of the series. Like I know people know my style. I don't like to do super in detail. Like I'm not going, if I'm discussing like a fight, right? I'm not doing like Goku punched him and then he came back with a kick. I'm not doing all that. I'm usually rushing through the fights because there's no time for that, and I think it might be a little cringe to do that too. I just say like, there's this fight, this happened, somebody wins. Like that's usually how I'll do it. So sometimes like my What If Vegeta Found Goku on Yardrat, that video was only 15 minutes long, but it covered from the start of the video. I didn't do parts. It's a one-parter. Like I did wherever the video started and I did it all the way to the end. And if it was 14 minutes, it's 14 minutes. If that's an hour, it's an hour. So depending on the script, it could take anywhere from 3 hours to like 10 hours, I would say, is the max I spent. I probably spent 10 hours max scripting a video. And this is usually be in one sitting. Like I won't take a break. Like if I'm scripting, I'll just script straight through. Like I might take if it's 10 hours, I might take like a little food break and then I'll just get right back to it. Because once you start scripting, it's like a flow, dude. You just gotta finish it. Because if you pause and then you get back to it like later in another week, I'd low-key forget what I wrote and I have to reread all that, which like doubles the time it takes. Then it comes to the audio, and I hate editing audio. I usually just open like, what I do is I have a mic, I have a really good mic, and I have an audio interface with that mic, so that's how you know it's like one of the professional ones. Which honestly is a funny story about that. When I was originally looking to get a better mic, I got this, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was something Sony, and it was like a $400 microphone, and I didn't know that those microphones don't connect directly into your computer. So then I ended up having to get an audio interface, and that was real blow. Like I had no clue I would need to do it. So you know what? If you guys are looking to get better microphones, do your research before you get one. And like make sure.
To me, I would have told you that you probably would have needed one for
it was
XLRs and USBs, and it's like if you don't have the XLR interface, that's completely useless if you buy it.
I had to get a Wave XLR with the microphone. And another thing, get a warranty on your microphone too. That's one big advice I'd give, because my one microphone that was honestly more expensive and better, it broke just randomly and I didn't have a warranty on it, and it only lasted me like 8 months. And then I got the second one that was a little bit cheaper, but it's still just the one I'm using right now. I have a warranty on it for 2 years. I think it's about to run out, but it's been lasting me. Always good to have a warranty. I'll record whatever the script is. I'll have the script open on one page and I'll have my sound recorder app on the other, and I'll just record through it. I'll take pauses to like drink water, but usually it's a straight run through. Like I'll just record it, and then whenever time comes to make the video, I'll open up, I edit with Filmora. I'll cut out all the breaks, all the breaths, all the times I like screwed up a sentence and redid it. That'll usually take, depending on the video, again, like if it's an hour-long audio recording, it'll usually take me 3 hours to edit the audio. Compared to if it's like a 20-minute recording, it'll take me under an hour. So that's my least favorite part, I would say. Editing the audio is my least favorite part of editing. And then the editing itself, it could take me, I would say it takes me about like an hour per minute of editing, which on average. Like some minutes that are like intense, like there's a fight scene or something like that, it could take me an hour and a half, and somewhere there's not much going on, it'll take me like 45 minutes. Sometimes I've managed, like if I'm in the zone and I'm working like really fast, I've managed to do like 2 minutes in 1 hour. But I'd say for the video that took me the longest amount of time to make was probably What If Goku Had Broly's Potential, which was a 45-minute video. And the editing was super intense on that. I probably spent like, I probably spent like 50 hours on that video total. But like What If Vegeta Found Goku on Yardrat, that video is closer to like 15 hours in production. I really think editing is the most important part of your video. Like I think if you're Salad and you're making more videos, but his editing's not bad, like it's still good editing. Like there's something always moving, and I kind of want to do that more, like to ramp up production a little bit. Like I kind of want to do more of like the pan and zooms to have something moving, but I don't have to change something every 4 seconds. Like 4 or 5 seconds is the sweet spot for another transition, which at that rate, like it takes you about an hour per minute. So yeah, I would say that's the longest part, editing, of course. Like it could take me 10 hours, it could take me 20 hours, it could take me 5 hours. It really varies on the video.
Yeah, I think something that I'm going to be doing particularly for this year is that I'm saving like previous video projects, which that's going to take up a lot of space, but there's ways that you can basically, at least with the software I use, or like anyone use like Premiere, stuff that's more similar, like higher tier stuff like DaVinci Resolve, you can copy and paste previous edits and it'll apply to.
Yeah, that's great. There was this one video. I've had.
Save all of your projects?
I do say I've started saving since like
Okay.
for the last 4 or 5. Yeah, for the last 4 months, I'd say I've saved all my projects.
Yeah, because I know when I start off, it's like, I don't think I'll need this again. It's like, afterwards, like, you know what? Maybe it would be good to have some of this, like,
No,
later.
absolutely. I don't remember what video it was exactly, but there was this video I had back to back. And this is where I started doing it. It might have been like I think it was what if Goku and the Saiyans didn't exist. There was this bit, where Grandpa Gohan was doing something, and the first like minute and a half of the video was focused on him. And then I was doing the next video, which was what if Goku landed at Fire Mountain, I think. And I was like, hold up, this video, this like Gohan bit, there's no need for it to be different. Like, it's basically the same. So I kept the script for that bit the same, and it was like a minute and a half of Gohan with like very slight variations in the editing. And I just copy and pasted the edit that I did for that video into that, and it saved me like probably an hour and a half, 2 hours just doing that, which I think is great. In Filmora, it's a little weird. Like the way you have to do it, you can't just like open a project, copy the edit, and paste it. You have to like, it's so weird. You have to, if you want to say like a specific bit, you have to cut out the rest of the video, and you have to save that project into your cloud, and then you can copy it from the cloud into your timeline in the next project. So it's a little harder to do it in Filmora, but that's how I did it. And then I just restore the project back to how it was in the original file. Poultry.
Nah, I kind of get that, but I will say that with how my concept works, at least, because I currently saved one project because I finished editing for someone who does like gameplay, like funny moments. It's like, well, I don't have to redo like subtitles every single time, so I just did it once and just pasted and just changed the text when like people say stuff. So now I'm just gonna keep that, and if I ever need to do that again, I'll just have like something to start with. I won't have to remake that over and over again, because people wonder like how you subtitle for videos like that all the time. It's literally the same thing. Like, some slight variation like might occur, but it's literally the same. Like,
yeah, unfortunately on Filmora, like I have to, when I'm making shorts, because subtitles are important for shorts, but I usually I started saving presets, like in terms of like there's this, when I do like a manga panel, I always need a white background underneath, like on the as the background for the manga panel, and then on top of that I usually have like this effect that makes the manga panel like move around the screen a little bit, like just flows, like it's not just staying still. So after like having to redo it in one project for like the 100th time, I was like, this is dumb. So I opened a new project, I did a preset where the white background and the effect are already there, and I just saved that. So every time now that I need to insert a manga panel, I just go to my presets, I insert that edit, and then I just put the manga panel in between them, so that the effect is already there and the background's already there, which saves you so much time in the long run.
Yeah, I totally get that. I'm just saying that now, like for people who start editing, like might maybe just consider saving your projects if you have something similar, because you'll just save so much time in the long run. And like, it's funny it took me this long, like now to realize that, but it's like, it's just how things go sometimes. You just get upload things, just don't consider certain stuff.
No, definitely. If you're watching and you're a new creator, you should definitely save your projects. It helps.
I think my thing is that I'll probably have to get like an external like storage device to start saving stuff is the thing. So I'm gonna look into that probably next couple months here when I have spare money just to buy like a terabyte or like whatever.
Yeah.
For like,
yeah, I was thinking, I tried to do like, there was a couple videos where I exported them in HD like quality, like it wasn't 1080, like it was whatever 4K, right? And just having that like download saved on my computer it's like 20 gigs, and I'm like, bro, I can't have this in here. So I'll delete like the file, or I'll delete the video file, but I'll still have the Filmora file where I made it, so that, you know, that helps. Because like the Filmora project itself doesn't take up that much space. What I usually have, like I have a separate folder now. Obviously I have my main folder with like all my assets and stuff, like the renders and backgrounds that I use and all that stuff. But I'll have like a separate folder now for where anything that I need to download for that video is going in that folder. Like I'll make a video like, what if Vegeta found Goku on Yardrat? I'll make a folder in that I'll make a subfolder in that main folder titled What if Vegeta found Goku on Yardrat, and anything I download from Google, say I downloaded a manga panel, say I screen recorded a clip, all that goes in that one subfolder, so that my files are all in one place, especially because in Filmora, if you move like a file in your computer from a folder to another one, you have to re-find it if you open the file again. So that's why I need to keep it all in the same place. So that way, if I open my Filmora file with that project, everything is where it needs to be, and I don't like there's nothing missing in the project. So that helps a lot too.
Yeah, I think I remember, like, last time we did an interview, I think I showed you, like, my mega folder. It's like, I still plan to go back to finish it, because I didn't even get every single, like, render I want for it, because obviously there's new stuff now and such, but it's like, there's so much investment, especially doing, like, that at minimum. Like,
it took me forever. It took me forever. Like, it took me like a summer to download all the renders off of DeviantArt, and then for a time, I was keeping up with the assets that Dokkan Assets was posting on Twitter, but then eventually I was like, I low-key don't need more. Like, if I need like a specific render one day, like I'll find it, but I'm not keeping up every week downloading like 100 renders. There's no point in it. So I still have like 19,000 some assets in my file, which is more than enough, honestly.
Yeah, I think with my thing, like with my mega account still, I still have enough space to add stuff. So I think my plan is I'm gonna finish it. Like, just put stuff in there. If I need to, like, move stuff and start another mega account, then I will. What I'm thinking of at the moment.
Is that just DeviantArt renders that you're trying to download?
Well, how you put it? Like, well, some are from, like, different games.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's the best way to
Okay.
describe it. Like, I have, like, a folder of, like, Bleach assets. Because originally, at one point, like, when the anime was coming back, I was like, you know, I was thinking about doing Bleach what ifs for a bit. Because, like, I could have the momentum. I could do it. There was a huge problem with that happened. And that's because Bleach, for whatever reason, they didn't do a simuldub with it. If they did that, there would have been momentum, like with other series like Dan to Dan and other stuff. Because what I've noticed is anything that gets a simuldub, people who are watching in Japanese and English can follow it together, like on Twitter and such. And that creates like a snowball momentum. You see the same thing with the video contents being posted out there. And it's like, I was just really surprised, like Bleach, a really big franchise, doesn't have that. But it's the same. I have like One Piece, like one.
Dude, it's the same thing with Daima. It's the same thing with Daima right now. They're like months behind on the dub, which is so dumb. Like, they need to. I think it would have been smart to release the dub at the same time. And not that I like can't watch it in subtitles, but like when you watch something subtitled, you have to be locked in. Like, what my attention span is so cooked. Like, I usually when I'm watching something, I'll be doing something on my other monitor too. And so like with subtitles, when I'm watching Daima, I can't do that because if I look at my other monitor, I just miss what's being said. So I don't know. Subtitles are fine, but I think Daima should have had dub like from the get-go. Or at least now they should have caught up. Like, they're like months behind on episodes in the dub.
I think what annoyed me with Daima is that what they did a theatrical release. Like, I got an email for it and stuff. It's like, oh, you should go watch the first 3 episodes in theaters. It's like, you know, I'll wait a bit. But then if you do decide to choose that, they didn't release them all at once. They slowly just released them. It's like, why did you do that? Like, you had no reason to just hold
they didn't even
episodes that were done.
They didn't even release the 3 at one time in the theatrical. They did, I'm pretty sure. Did they do that weekly, or did they release the theatrical that they did all at once? Do you know?
No, they didn't release the theatrical like at once. So when you go, I don't know if you're around. I think you're on vacation at the time. So what happened was, I think it was November, December. Well, it was 2 months. I got an email. It's like, oh, you want to watch like all the Daima stuff like in theaters? And like they say like what theater you can go to and go see it, like was like event thing.
Yeah, no, I was in town when that happened. I remember I didn't end up going to watch it because I just didn't want to go watch. I didn't want to pay for it, honestly. I was like, it's fine. I don't need to watch the dub that badly. I'll just wait till it comes out. I remember it going in theaters. But what I'm wondering is, I know they just started releasing the dub, right? Did they release?
Yeah.
Did they release 3 episodes? Or they released 1. They did 1 that time.
Yeah, okay. The price why they did.
No, that's some Crunchyroll. Not even that's some Toei Animation for you right there. That's how they do it.
Because my thing is, if they release like multiple, like, what was the plan? Was the plan to use the extra time for the voice actors to get stuff done? It didn't feel like that. At least
I feel like they have. Yeah, I don't think so. I think Daima's well produced. I think they probably had it done. I just don't understand the release schedule. It's weird. But let's just. I don't know. It's not worth talking about because we're not going to be able to fix that. It's way out of our control.
I guess getting back on subject, what do you think makes a good thumbnail for what if scenario content these days?
Okay, I absolutely think that everybody should do A/B testing now. But obviously, it's really expensive to commission thumbnails, which is what I struggle with now. Like, if you think about it, Dark Han's even he's not even like close to the most expensive person. He's arguably like cheap compared to a bunch of other people that are doing commissions. But
I think there's some people, like as someone who has commissioned him, there are people who are cheaper than him that do like on par quality or like better, like personal opinion, but you need to know Spanish. I'm not joking though. It's like most of them are from like Argentina, other South American countries.
No, a lot of people that I hit up are Brazil. That was what I was gonna say. They're from Brazil. I mean I still use Junior a lot. So he's my guy. Like if I need like a thumbnail quickly, I'll hit him up. And like I'll occasionally do dark cons, but the issue with that is like, dude, if the video doesn't do well, then I just lost like $112. Like if there's 2 characters, that's what I struggle with. And sometimes I'm like, you know, it might be worth it, because what if the video does do well? But then I had like, what if Goku was super extra prepared, right? And that thumbnail, I had a vision for it. I wanted like, there was like 5 characters in the thumbnail, and I was like, if I get Dark Cons to do this, it's gonna cost me like $200-300. So I was like, let me get Junior to do it, and he did it fine too. Like it's not as good as Dark Cons, but it's good enough, and the video did well anyway. So I think I think commission thumbnails are great, but I also think Salad saying he doesn't do commissions for most of his videos. He does commissions for the full story. So I think if you're a parter, if you do parts, you don't need to do commissions for all the parts. You just need to do a commission thumbnail.
Salad does his own art.
Not for all of them. I know he's commissioned a bunch of thumbnails for his full stories, but he does.
I mean, for some stuff, like he did like the biker Reddit's render. He did like
so yeah, he can.
Ones.
He draws renders. He draws renders, and rarely he'll do like he does all his part thumbnails. I know that for sure. And he's been doing that forever. But for his full story thumbnails, a lot of them are commissioned, and I just know that because I see the person that commissioned it like posted on Twitter.
Because
he's skilled.
My only thing is like I think it's the compositing. I think would make some of the stuff look better. That's the only thing with his regular stuff. Other than that, I think he's doing fine. Besides that,
he's doing good. I think everyone's doing good right now. Anyways, that's my thoughts on thumbnails. I think you should do A/B testing. I think you should try to do commissions at least for your full stories. But obviously, money is obviously an issue. Like a lot of times I lose money just because I did a commission thumbnail, and it takes time for that video to like accumulate back the money that I spent on the thumbnail. But again, if you do like a worse thumbnail, like you make it yourself and it sucks, then it's likely that the video will do even worse. Most importantly is your title and your thumbnail. Above all else, like the editing even comes after, because you first need to get somebody to click on your video. So the thumbnail and the title are super important. Keep it super short, keep the thumbnail super like to the point, it needs to be good. So that's just my opinion on it. But I think also A/B testing, what I do is I usually have a commission thumbnail, and then I'll have one that I made, which sometimes like for my Mr. Popo video, I did like a Set the Programmer type of thumbnail. Like I did like, it was Popo, and then on the side it just said like Bazeno bows to him. Like it was something like that, and that video did really well just because of that thumbnail, I think, because the click rate on the thumbnail was great. And like sometimes I'll do something like that. Like for What If Goku Was Super Extra Prepared, I had the commission thumbnail, and then I had like that type of thumbnail where there was just Goku looking tough in like one render, and on the side it just said Super Extra Prepared. And the characters that vanished in Dragon Ball, originally I didn't plan to do a commission for that because I had a really nice thumbnail with Launch that I made myself. But then I did that, and I did an A/B test with a commission thumbnail, and the commission thumbnail ended up doing better. So that's why I think you should do commission thumbnails. But also it's fine to do your own as well. I just think commissions are better.
I think the other thing is like you said earlier, I think the main thing is to make sure you're even able to afford it, because what happens is that you start losing too much, well, you're losing kind of an investment if you're trying to do this like full time, at least from my perspective. Like for anyone who wants to try to do content creation full time, you have to balance stuff out.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree.
How do you stay creative and like avoid like repetitive patterns like when you do What If content?
I honestly don't try to do that, because
really
sometimes if the What If idea is good but it overlaps with an idea I already did before, who cares? Because I'm not going to change the way this one What If is going because the other What If went that way too. And a lot of times someone will comment that. Like I had one guy comment on my video, like your What Ifs are kind of repetitive, or like I don't remember what it exactly was, but it was like I think someone was like kind of mad that my What Ifs were like 15 minutes. He was like, I've watched like 3 of your videos now, and they're like 15-minute full stories, and they kind of all end at some point. I think that's what he was mad about. And I was like, look, I'm gonna take the story in the direction that I think fits the what if the best, and if that means it overlaps with another video, then that's fine. And especially because, like, say one video ended peacefully, and then I say, oh, Battle of Gods doesn't happen, which means that so much stuff doesn't happen, which means that eventually Zeno will erase the timeline, because that's the general progression, right? And that happens in that what if. That's how that what if ends. And another what if ends differently, but it ends in that way that Zeno will still erase everything. I'm still gonna do it. Like, I don't really try to, like, obviously to some degree I do, because I don't want it to be exactly the same, but to some, like, I don't think about it that much. I think it's fine if it overlaps.
Yeah, I know there's conflicting stances with that, but the thing is, like, if you're trying to tell a story, it's like some stuff shouldn't change too drastically. If you're trying to follow it relatively straightforward, is how I feel about certain stuff.
Yeah.
So I think within reason, I think it's fine to have certain patterns still repeat, because again, it's the same story in some aspects. You're following the main timeline for a lot.
Especially because my videos are like more realistic Dragon Ball. Like,
yeah,
I keep going back to Salad, but he does way more fan fiction stuff. Like, he'll include like Janemba in his videos, and he'll have like fan fiction transformations sometimes. But I won't do that. I just do a little bit more realistic. But that's why we have different audiences, right? Like, there's a big portion of the audience that likes realistic, more like depth-wise, less fan fiction videos, and some people that like to see new forms and stuff like that, there's an audience for that as well. And I try to do both. Like, What If Goku was Super Extra Prepared was a super fanficky what if. And I made that clear at the start. I was like, this is a fan fiction type what if. Because some people will be like, dude, this what if is so fan fiction. Like it's unrealistic. But I'm like, I know. Which is why I thought it would be fun to switch things up a little bit, do like one unrealistic, and I'll do like 3 realistic videos, and I'll switch back and forth between them. Like, that's how I'll do it.
Nah, I understand that. What do you think about like how many what ifs are out there? Do you think it's reaching like an oversaturation point, or you think it's fine?
Absolutely. I think oversaturation is becoming a problem, and you can tell because a lot of the creators are branching out now. Like, Salad is like the one guy that's he's done the most consistent what ifs, like, and he stays on it, dude, and he won't stop doing.
He has a second channel to our stuff. He wants it,
Yeah,
which is nice.
exactly.
I always respect him for that.
There's a second channel, and then the second thing is he's starting to insert non-what if content, but it never disrupts the flow of his what if content. Like, he'll have a general Dragon Ball video in there somewhere, but then the next 3 videos will be what ifs, which I think is probably the move. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Not as consistent as he does it. I wouldn't say consistent's the right word. I think frequency is the right word, because I think consistency is not you upload like 3-4 videos a week. Consistency is like having a consistent schedule. I think my schedule is obviously consistent. Like, I'm not breaking away from it. His consistency is the same. It's just his frequency is higher than mine. And I'm trying to do like the same type. Like, I'm trying to do 1 or 2 what if videos, and I'm trying to do 1 non-what if video that's Dragon Ball related. Like, right now, I think a cool video that I was actually inspired to make, I saw a channel that was doing like videos on like Dragon Ball training, and he was doing like he had his own style, obviously, and he was doing like one specific training arc that was being focused on in the video. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Let me incorporate it and do my own thing. And I'm doing a video right now, working on it, that's like talking about the best training arcs, or the best training camps, I should say, in Dragon Ball. We're just talking about like the top 5, like basically like Goku's training on Namek, Vegeta's training in the gravity room, stuff like that. And that's like a non-what if video that I'm interested in making. So it's going to be like a what if video, and then that video, and then maybe back to a what if.
So you kind of discussed this, but how have you been like diversifying like your content currently?
Yeah, basically what I just said. Like, I would do, I'm trying to think of videos that'll do well. I'm trying to keep the same editing theme though, because people like that watch your channel obviously are used to your editing. So if you do like a different type of video, completely swap up the editing, it's not going to do as well. So I'm trying to do, trying to diversify it, but keep the vibe the same, if you know what I mean. And yeah, it's kind of difficult to diversify, because when I tried it before, it didn't work out as well. But now I think I'm getting a better hand of it, and I'm trying to do it more. Like, I'll still do 2 what ifs, 1 what if, 2 what ifs. I'm probably never gonna like go what ifs, but I'm still trying to throw in like the occasional non-what if video.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad way to go about it. I think that's what like Smugstick and I think Solid around the same time we just started.
Basically, like the last
Eventually,
four.
start doing other stuff.
Yeah, dude, Smugstick is just like, he's got his own genre, I would say, of like Dragon Ball. Like he's just full in the lore, and I think he's good for it because I mean his videos are super well researched is the thing too, and the editing is still really good. I've like the last 4 of my videos, 2 have been what ifs and 2 were non-what ifs, so that's kind of the same approach I'm taking.
So what are your thoughts on like full stories like being like the new thing currently as far as like
I'm all for it. I think there's a large portion of the audience that does not like that because I'll get like comments, like I'll do like a video and it won't say full story because like I don't think there's a point to saying full story at the end of all your like the titles. I think at some point it just becomes redundant. Like, dude, it is just a full story, and you'll find out if you watch the video the way it ends, it's a full story. But then I'll have someone comment, "Where's part 2?" And I'm like, "Hello?" I like clearly I ended the video and it was like done. So I think some people still like a lot of people like to see parts, but that's only because they don't want they want more out of the story. And I think you just have to know when to end your story. And I don't like parts because the way it worked with me was I was getting super like confused on stories. Like I was doing like 3 stories at the same time. And if I was releasing part 3 of one and part 5 of one and part like 7 of one, I was getting confused between the stories. I wasn't doing as good of a job writing one story. So then I was like, this is not working. And eventually like I'd end up like just ditching the what if in general. Like I'd get to like part 5 and I'd be like, yo, this is stupid, and I'll just leave it. But when I started doing full stories, I found that like this is way more effective for me. Like I'll just sit down, I'll write the full story in a full story format. Like I'm not doing one arc per part. I'll just do the whole thing, and that fit my style a lot better. And the video also, at first the videos were performing super well, and then obviously when I took that break, I killed all my momentum, and now I'm just getting back to where I was last year, like early last year. So not even last year, well, it's 2025 now, so I'd say 2023. Yeah. Like April to like July of 2023 was like peak for me. Not even April, might have been like January to July, dude. It was a great time for me.
Yeah, I've been talking with some other people behind the scenes, and one interesting thing that I talked with one about, they're gotta do something similar I'm doing like with Anime Sage's like channel, and they're gonna move a bunch of their older content to like a second channel and just slowly re-release them again. So I'm very curious how that's gonna go, to be honest, because as far as my process with that channel goes, like it got like 1,000 watch hours recently, so like there's people still want to watch certain stuff, but at the same time, like I'm aiming to like switch quality like content in some aspects, because I'm not saying
I mean your channel is more like, I think, which I don't know, like correct me if I'm wrong, but you're doing more like you know, your channel, you want to do like informational anime content, like interviews and stuff like that on What If Universe, and you're trying to do all the content like in terms of What If, Dragon Ball, all other animes on the Anime Sage channel, right?
Yeah, because with whatever, like with the Anime Sage channel, it's gonna be more video focused, and here I can finally just actually focus on the podcast stuff, because that's stuff that I wanted to do for a channel, but to get monetized and stuff's kind of difficult. But because this channel's already monetized, I don't have to worry about that. I can just do stuff when I want to, which is really nice.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I would just like looking at your channel, I think I would just like probably finish like the transition in terms of like just having only your podcast interviews, discussions, stuff like that, and not like the actual, you know, anime content, and just move that all to the other channel. I think that's probably the move.
I think for some of it, I'll just move to my like personal second channel, because I don't think I'll want to just repost it to the other channel, because I did tell the audience I don't plan to reuse content, because I felt like that's a little cheap in some aspects. Like as much as doing that, it's just something that I don't look forward to doing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
But I did want to talk about, at least with current predictions, we'll get into our predictions for this year though, but one prediction I do want to talk about that I've seen a trend is I think like one-shot what ifs are gonna overall do better than multi-parters like have been doing in the past. Like I think some multi-parters would be fine, like if we do lower quantities, like I think maybe 3 at most these days, but I think like 5, 6, like really long stuff isn't gonna pan out as well as I felt like it did in the past.
You can just tell because, okay, I keep going back to Salad Sand, but he's doing fine in terms of that, and I think he's like an outlier, because if you look at Masako, dude, you can tell that he's kind of reached like peak audience in terms of like the way he does his what ifs. There's no more, I don't think there's any more growth to be found, because he does like
change enough stuff though, is my personal criticism.
I mean, he hasn't changed at all if you think about it. He's since the start, aside from his camera quality, I think he still does
Well,
the same
to be
long
fair, he
form.
did Dragon Ball R&R, which I thought was pretty good.
I think that was awesome. No, but that's, I mean, I'm talking like what if stuff specific.
But that's like,
Like I thought R&R was really cool too. And nothing to take away from Masako, but he's kept his videos the same. Like he does the scripting, and they're usually like 14, 15 parts, and then he'll combine into a full story. But I just don't think, I think people are so like out of attention now that you need actual editing, like good editing, like not just you talking. You need stuff to move on the screen. But I think it's so far out of his style that like I don't even think he'll ever do it.
well, I think realistically, just having something shorter where the general audience can keep up with what the story is the thing.
I do think, yeah, either shorter parts or longer parts and 3 videos, for example. Like you don't need to do, you don't need to do 15 parts. You can just, and that content that you covered in 15 parts, keep it the same length, but do it in like 3 videos. I think that's probably a move too. Actually, that's interesting. I like that.
Because like doing this process, like doing stuff for like say his channel, I've been getting advice from other like coaches and stuff, and that was the big thing I said. It's like if I were to continue doing what if content, it would have to be shorter stuff and stuff that's more encapsulated so like a viewer can like absorb it properly. Because what happens is diminishing returns, like it's more personal, like self-channel oversaturation. So you post multiple videos, and what happens is if you don't keep enough people, like the new people that are invested enough, they'll just kind of drop off, and you'll still have some people, but that's not enough though to keep the momentum going. When you release like the first 2 parts, for example,
I feel that.
because you can have like initial first 2 parts do super well, but after that, I think that's more of like a risk. It seems like for this type of content and a lot of other type of content. The same issue.
The way you should do it, I think people start caring less when you take longer between the parts. So if you just do like, say you have, I'd say prepare the videos first, right? You just have part 1, part 2, part 3.
That's true. You could do
launch day, like day after day after day, and then you can just a couple weeks later turn that into a full story. And then I think that's probably optimal.
Yeah, that is something that I didn't think about initially, but I do think that theoretically could work if you produce stuff ahead of time and just release it consecutively if you're consistent. I guess that would be fine. But then again, there's a lot of like back-end analytics stuff that I don't know. Like, I can't tell you how to run your channel without seeing stuff. And that's not to say that I even want to, because I think it's just something you learn like by yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair.
So what's your opinion with growing channel using shorts? If someone were to start doing that instead of doing like the long form content.
Only shorts? I mean, obviously only shorts. I think you're making a lot less money, obviously, but there is literally a channel in the scene, I can't even remember the name, but that has 1 million subscribers just on shorts, which is ridiculous. Like, I mean, good for them, right? But the way I dealt with shorts, it was super weird. I got like 30,000 subscribers from shorts. They were doing really well. All of a sudden, they don't do as well. Even though like I've made them better, like improved the quality of shorts and kept them more consistent than they were before. Like before, I maybe do like 1 a week, wouldn't do it for 2 weeks, then do another one. And then like do like 3 in 1 week and just leave it. It was weird. But now I have a frequency, like consistent schedule, and they're just not doing as well, even though they're better, which is weird. And I think the hardest thing with shorts is that you'll grow in subscribers, but you're not gonna don't expect to see the growth that you saw, in shorts that you see in your long form content. Because the hardest thing is to get the short form videos, those views to convert to long form views, and that's very difficult. And I don't think that's even like, it's hard. I don't even know if it's possible. Like I think that's where I stand on that. Like converting short form viewers to long form viewers is super challenging. I think the best way to do it is if you make short form content around like one of your long form videos to funnel views from that short into the long form. And I've done that before. Like if I make a video and then I'll sometimes make like 2 shorts on that video. Like for example, for characters that vanished in Dragon Ball, I made 2 shorts. One was talking about launch and one was talking about Master Shen. And I basically said at the end of the video, I talked more in depth about this character and more characters that vanished in Dragon Ball in this video. And then I'll have that as the related video, and so people can click on it and just go directly to the long form video. I think that's one of the best ways to do it. Other than that, it just grows your subscriber base. But a lot of times you don't see that subscriber base transfer to long form views. So an overall, shorts can be harmful as much as they can be like beneficial.
Because the only strategy that I would personally think about, it's like, for some people, it's difficult to get like that initial like 1,000 subscribers thing. So if you do shorts first to get that, and then try to do long form. But the problem is, like you said earlier, it's conversion rates. Like, are there gonna be enough people who want to see it, or you gotta wait long enough and then start posting it? Because by that point, you should just start with long form content in the first place. Because how the algorithm works.
Yeah, shorts are tricky, man. That's all I'll say.
So how do you feel about like higher quality versus like less quantity and etc.? Like, how do you feel about that?
I think there's a balance to be found. I think obviously when we say higher quality, less quantity, you don't want to do you don't need to do one video a month and like reduce quantity that much to improve one quality that much. There can be a balance found. You need if you're like a weekly uploader, I think if you have time, weekly uploading is probably best. Like one a week is probably like if I had all the time in the world, I could probably do weekly uploads. Like if this was like permanent job, I didn't have school, like I think one a week, but make sure that video is good. Like I don't think you should ever rush the video. Like if it's not turning out good, you should wait. You should make sure the editing is good before uploading, because at the end of the day, if your quality is not good, the video is not going to get views anyway. So what's the point in rushing to upload it? You should have a good balance between the two.
Yeah, I can see that. I think my thing is that I'm trying to look towards, like with more longer stuff, is I'm thinking of like bi-weekly, so like every other week is what I'm thinking at the moment, but I'll have to see how it goes. Not really sure, at least yet, since I have like audio for one thing, but I'm waiting on other projects, because like you said, like with the Mr. Beast example, I'm following it sorta, so my plan's to do 20 videos, so I want the initial 10 to get like data from people, like see how they feel about the content, then use the other 10 like to see like, okay, is it like improving and such in comparison? Like that's kind of how I'm approaching it.
No, I get that. I also like sometimes if you get your video done and then you don't have the thumbnail for it, I found that to be a problem sometimes too. Like I sometimes forget that I need the thumbnail, and then I'll make the video and then I'll be like, oh crap, now I gotta wait like 6-7 days for the thumbnail. Which is why sometimes like Junior's my move, because sometimes I'll just be like, yo, I need this thumbnail as quickly as you can get it done, and he does it. So
I think with the content I'm planning to do, I don't think I'll do commission stuff initially. Like I'll probably do some commission thumbnails for like a few older videos that are around here, like to make them look nicer. But as far as that goes, like it's just how it is at the moment. I do have someone in mind that's helping me though with thumbnails. I'm just not going super in depth with that at the moment, since stuff's not made it obviously yet.
right, I feel that.
But one other interesting thing I want to talk about is with like Sparking Zero right now, and how this might just be a huge game changer as far as like what if content goes, like with custom like cutscenes and such. Like
I don't think it matters as much as people made it out to be at first. I think it's super irrelevant at that. I think the only thing that Sparking Zero is going to do is for the people that make gaming content, they can make gaming content and have the what if aspect of it. Like they can do a what if in the game, and I've seen people do it and they're getting mad views on it. But unless you're a what if content creator, like specifically like one of us, like my type of content, and you want to do like an in-game what if, I also don't think that would do well, because you're not a gaming channel. You can't just like hop in Sparking Zero. I might be wrong, but you can't just hop in Sparking Zero and do a what if and post that video, right, of you just playing a what if in Sparking Zero. And I think it would not do well. Like that's just my opinion. I don't think it's gonna do well, and I don't think custom scenes are also gonna do well, just because like the editing that we do in the scene, that's basically like using a Xenoverse 2 clip of two, like, because you can make mods in Xenoverse 2, right? That's kind of lazy editing. Like you just have a mod of, say you had legendary Super Saiyan Goku in one of your what ifs and he's fighting somebody, and you just play that gameplay in the background. That editing is not going to do as well as if you use your renders and use video and use manga panels to do it instead. I think Sparking Zero was over exaggerated in terms of what it was going to do for the what if scene, and I don't think it's going to be as useful as people say, aside from people that make gaming content generally. For them, it's absolutely great.
I will say that I have used gameplay like for certain fight scenes and stuff for as regards to editing with our people. So I think the big issue, at least from my perspective, because I talked to like Professor Chimp and a few other people who are legitimately like messing with the game, like realistically seeing like what we can do with it. The biggest issue right now is that there's no good text editor. It's really awful to put in dialogue, so it's not that useful in that aspect. And the other thing is like talking to one of Smug's editors who does like modding stuff. There's just a big investment you would have to put into it to actually make something look good is the thing. So I think it's theoretically possible, but it's like you would have to know like what you're making, how much time you're investing into it, because you're gonna be putting honestly a bit more compared to regular video. But if you want like fight scenes and other stuff done quicker, theoretically you could make it look nice, and that's the one thing that kind of excites me going into this year, because as we have more time, we're able to actually like break the game down, actually make some of this stuff possible. Because earlier on, it was not as interesting, to be honest with you. But I think going into this year, I think is what we should be looking for as far as that goes.
I honestly didn't buy Sparking Zero. Like I was planning on it, but it was like $100, and I was like low key. I'm not that much.
I didn't buy it at launch either. I was just watching like other people play it.
But yeah, that was what I was thinking. I like watched a bunch of people play, and I was like, I'm unimpressed in a way. I do like a lot of the what if scenarios. I thought they were cool because I did make a video on it. But yeah, other than that, I don't. Yeah, what you say?
Gameplay wise, it's relatively fun. I played with Son using like Parsec. Basically, it's like a remote play type of thing. So someone else plays the game like on their computer, and I connect with my controller with my computer, it's something like that. Just explain general audience for people who don't know what that is, but that's how I got to play it, and I think it's relatively fine. Like it's obviously like the best like version of this game so far, like graphically and like somewhat mechanically, but I think, like I said, the issues like it still needs time to catch up. It's only been out for a little bit, so it still has time to iron out some issues, but if it ever goes like on sale like this summer, I would recommend picking it up personally.
Yeah, I also have the PS5, so yeah, I plan on getting it at some point.
I did want to talk about AI slop and how it's kind of doing numbers with YouTube right now. Because earlier I wasn't as concerned, but seeing where stuff's going, I'm very interested in in your personal thoughts with it more.
I don't think YouTube's doing enough against it, but I also don't think I don't think that it's as big of a problem, because dude, as AI just evolves, everyone's gonna use it for everything, and I think it's just more of like personal creation, how humans can create versus how AI can create, and I think there's definitely a divide between how well we can do it. But at the end of the day, what AI is for is it's a tool, and I think we need to learn how to use it as a tool more than anything to help us, instead of how some people use it to just do everything, you know. I don't think replacing creators and other facets are the move with AI, but I think everybody needs to learn how to use it as a tool. I think that's great, because it's not going anywhere. It's going to be there no matter what you do. So the best option is to learn how to use it as a tool.
Yeah, I think my thing is I'm more learning from other content creators I know, watch and made friends with, and some of them do use AI for certain stuff. And that's kind of changed my perspective, how I use it. So the main thing that I use it for now is more grammatical checking, because I used to use Grammarly for a bit. It's just not as good compared to ChatGPT, unironically. It can actually do it a lot faster and just go through everything for a script. So I just say,
and it doesn't cost money. Doesn't cost the money.
That's so surprising. I don't know why it doesn't. You only get a limited amount of time with the recent model, but for how little I use it for, I don't use it that heavily, in my opinion. That's why I still will mark stuff as it was made by me, because it was I literally just use it to check grammar. No one else would care, and as far as that aspect goes.
Right. No, I think you also don't need to be super worried about it. No matter what, AI is not going anywhere, and we just need to learn how to use it as effectively and as morally as we can.
Well, I'm not doing what certain other channels have been doing, where they just use it to do their entire script. I think that's where I run into issues more with it, because it steals from other people, I feel at that point. But if you're more using it to a smaller scale, it's not as big of a deal, because just using common stuff that we to be fair, I should learn how to use grammar better, but at the same time, it's do I really want to? It's not really. That's the
fair.
That's how I think art, and when you get into voiceover and stuff, I think that's where it becomes more of an issue for me. But as far as using it more in a tool aspect, like editing audio, there's a tool that I found that can cut out air gaps and stuff. I'm thinking about possibly getting it, because that's all it does. It just speeds up that quicker, like getting rid of like gaps and such. So it's like,
Yeah, dude,
this.
that's a godsend. That's what I would say. I think this is exactly what it's for. And you
I
need
mean,
to
I'll
use
send it to you if you're
your
interested.
code. You can send it to me.
I'm just saying, like, there's certain extensive stuff where it's like, it's not, if it's something that a human would do anyways, and they would just get done in that aspect, I think that's fine. Because at that point, it'd be something like a tool that you'd be using like in Photoshop and something. And that's not really called AI in that aspect. And there's a lot of stuff that's just like algorithmic basis. Like, it's not AI, it's basically something else entirely. I think people get stuff confused, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
But I actually wanted to ask your predictions for what if content going this year, actually.
What if content? I think you're gonna see more creators this year diverge from what if content. And even though they'll keep it in their schedule a bit, I think everyone is going to start focusing on general Dragon Ball content instead of just solely focusing on what ifs. I know that's what I'm going to be doing. I know that I'll still incorporate what ifs, but I know that I'm trying to do more diversifying in content. And I think that's mainly my prediction. I don't think Sparking Zero is going to play that much of a role at all for main what if creators like us, but gaming channels, obviously, like I said, that's their own thing, right? And other than that, I think hopefully once Daima concludes, there's some fun what ifs to make about that, so I'm sure people will do some of that too.
I think as far as my predictions, I think we're going to have a lot more creators using like AI for like character voices. I totally think people are going to think whether it's like cheaping out because they don't want to pay for actual voice acting, or they think it'll enhance like their video from their perspective. I think that's where we're going to head with that.
I think there's obviously like a fine line. Like if you can't, as like a small creator that wants to do something with voices, but obviously you don't have any money to pay voice actors and you can use an AI. Like I see the issue with it, but I also see why they would do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying my predictions, like to how people view what they're doing. That's the personal perspective. How you view
I can see that too. I can see.
Bale's already been seeing it. Like last,
I have too.
We're gonna see more this year.
I hope. You know what? I hope they get better. If anything, dude, they suck right now. They're so bad. I've been getting
use some stuff that I've been messing around with because for YouTube, they have AI thumbnails now.
That's what I was gonna say. YouTube. I was just about to say that YouTube inspiration on my inspiration tab, they always recommend me the dumbest videos. Like they'll say something like, "What if Gohan unlocked his potential?" I'm like, "He did though. What?" And it'll be like something like that with a AI thumbnail. One time they did cook out like a really nice AI thumbnail, but I was like, the idea generation is so weird for the inspiration tab for this type of content. It's so bad.
I think the big thing I hope is that I think people more should be punished if they don't label their content being AI generated. I think that's something I think that'll happen this year as the tools get better on YouTube's end, because I think they're releasing stuff, but they don't get everything like ready, I feel like sometimes with YouTube. That's just personal opinion though.
Gotcha.
Let's see. I think we'll get more AI what ifs as far as like scripts go. I think that I noticed that. But then again, there's like a bunch of slop channels that exist in general, so it's like that's just a normal YouTube thing. It's not something uniquely specific to
and even with slop channels, like if something is like that, you know that to get monetized they have to go through the checking anyway, so there's a high likelihood that they're not going to get monetized on reused content. So there's that.
Yeah, I think that's something interesting to think about, but it's more like it depends how YouTube's going to recognize what if content future, because there are some people I talk to who are worried that it might false flag channels, which I could totally see that happening to people, unfortunately. It'll be like, yeah, this seems like this other content we flagged. We should probably take down this person. Like,
yeah.
Because we've seen that happen to people who make good content that get like labeled for reused content. It's just really silly in some aspects.
I feel you.
I think the other thing that we'll see, I think we will have another channel, I think, hit 1 million subscribers. Because I think Kartu recently hit it. I think we're going to
hit another channel. He hit it last year, but he's been hit it. He's at like 1.2 now. I think
that's like main context.
I mean,
we'll have something.
What? Probably not. Probably Mark. Mark is at 990. Mark is gonna hit it for sure.
That's it. Well, as far as Dragon Ball Space, yeah, I think that's gonna be it. But maybe Smug. I think if he gets a bit more consistent, I think he would hit it. Personally,
I think he's way more. He's been uploading like crazy. I think if he also focuses on if his shorts do as well as his main,
I guess if he does one really huge video, I guess that could do it. To be fair.
He's doing great. I think the direction Smug is headed, he might get there before Salad does.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Here, I'm gonna send you an example of.
Yeah,
Look at that.
that's so great. That's so funny.
Well,
It's always the same theme too.
Well, for this one, like it was recommended. It's like, oh, what if Goku married and 18? It's like this is what came up with.
That's
Like-
so good. Honestly, this is better than like 99% of the thumbnails I've had recommended from them. So there's that.
I'm gonna see what else I can send real quick. Yeah, let's put this one in here.
What is that, bro?
That's Garo from One Punch Man versus Goku. And he just has like a third arm for no reason.
And he has Goku's gi on, bro.
Yeah, I also thought that was funny. Like, why did you think that's what you
That's
did?
hilarious. Yeah, no, YouTube, they need to lock in on their AI if they want people to actually get inspiration. Because they be recommending me, like, what if Dragon Ball characters went to high school? Like, I'm like, come on.
I mean, yeah, this one's kind of funny. It made like a Super Saiyan 4 for this one.
It's great, bro. I hope they get better.
I'm trying to find the really good one that I got randomly. I just need to find it. I know it's buried somewhere. A bunch of slop, to be honest. Oh, here's another one with Goku and Android 18.
Holy. Yeah, people love Goku and Android 18, bro.
Well, what's the thing? YouTube, what they do for whatifcom, they just scrape what other people are kind of like doing, like for context, for people wondering how this inspiration tool works. So it does that.
Dude, but it'll tell me, like, there's very high interest in seeing what if, like, Broly had been a good guy, or, like, there was a really high interest in seeing what if Gohan had his potential unlocked. But I'm like, that did happen. What do you mean there's a very high interest? Like, that's what it'll say in the inspiration tab. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like,
Okay, now,
what if,
now this one right here was probably one of the best.
yeah, that's kind of hard.
He has all my pants for no reason. You
See,
pay
little-
attention.
It's a little inconsistency.
Yeah.
Like, right now, I'm getting one recommended to me that says if the Z fighters had super speed. Like, what?
That is kind of funny. Like, they're just faster in what they work. That's all the what if would be.
Like, hold up, bro. Hold up. This is a thumbnail. There's a few, though. They're actually not that bad. So one of them's not bad. Look at the faces, though. They can't do faces. Holy.
Oh, my. I think, like I said, it's more like luck of the draw, like what you get.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't think. Oh, here's one where I was just messing around. But I really think this.
What is this?
It's Patrick fighting like a wrestler guy.
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? One thing that's for sure is YouTube AI will create abominations. That's for sure. And they'll be funny. At least there's that.
I mean, I guess it inspires me to do better. Maybe that's what the point of the inspiration tab is.
There.
It's like, can you do better than AI generated slop? Probably.
Mhm.
Let's see. I guess I'm gonna close things out here. I got some podcast news, and I would plug your stuff at the end, and go over a few things. Plus, previous channel name plus Ultraman. We were going to do an interview this week, but IRL stuff came up for both of us, so didn't happen. I talked to him today, basically talk about rescheduling for next week. If it does happen, great. If it doesn't, that's just how stuff goes, to be honest, as far as that goes. Another guest that I was also going to do stuff with was Dex Comics, because he shifted from like Dragon Ball stuff into more like Pokemon and other franchises. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to talk about, since I mostly talked to him back when he was only doing Dragon Ball stuff. But I had some RL stuff come up last year, so that's also going to be rescheduled, unfortunately, as far as that goes. But something else that's interesting is that I'm planning to interview the artists to help with the Dragon Ball Martian series that me and Professor Chimp have been doing. So that series that me and Chimp are doing, it was a collab, got complicated, but since I'm not doing what ifs, all the what ifs are now, at least for that series, are on his channel. So we're back on track of things, and we have stuff planned for this year at least. I won't say how much we'll go into that because plans change, but as far as the arts go, it's either going to be 2 episodes or like 1 big episode, depending how scheduling goes. It might be like, if you've seen like other podcasts where they interview one guest and then they have another guest come after, it might be a combined episode, depending how that goes. Motion, would you like to plug some of your stuff before I close out here?
Yeah, I mean, really all I have to plug is my channel. So make sure you check out Saiyan Motion. But I'm assuming if you're watching this that you're already a fan. So that's all I got. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. If you want to hear more updates not related to this podcast, check out the community tab. I've been your host, Drew, from whatifuniverse, and always remember, in whatifuniverse, there are endless possibilities. I'll see you in the next podcast episode.